But let's go ahead and start playing since I already have it. But be prepared because it is a huge download. The download is 30 gigabytes if you decide to play it. As you can see, it's the producers were in Massey, but the actual people that developed it was called Bluehole Studio.
The answers we now seek cannot be found in books. Our individual journeys must now become linked to the looming battle of our world's salvation. The journey will begin at the Island of Dawn, a mysterious new addition to our maps. Long ago, when the Titans, Arun and Shara, fell asleep, they dreamed our world into existence. A world where races have finally come together as one, to forge a new alliance of equals, to turn back the coming tide of destruction, and stand against enemies who would turn their dream into a nightmare. When the island first arose, we arrived as explorers to discover and to understand. We discovered only death. Now, the best and brightest are arriving on the Island of Dawn, and your journey has led you here to help us make our stand. Our enemies thrive on brutality. They will never stop. But here, on the Island of Dawn, we will rise again and turn the darkness back into light.
Okay, so as you can see, that is the basic setup for the game. Your character has gone to the Isle of Dawn to basically explore with a few people, but this is after several groups have already made their travels to this place and have failed. Let's see, let me go back to the server list. Can't create any more characters on that server, so I've got to try it again on a different server. Okay. Let's go to this one. PvE basically means player versus environment instead of PvP, which is player versus player. That's some of the servers are full on. Go through and you can get attacked anywhere, and it's kind of hard to progress if you're not that experienced with the game. So it's better to go with the server that's PvE only, unless you're addressed to go into PvP by someone else. Okay, let's create a new character. Okay, so as you can see, we have several races that we can choose to be. We have the human, the Castanet, which is they're a mild tempered race. The Amon, which looks kind of beast-like and similar to some of the mobs you can find in the game. The Papori, which are little furry characters of sorts. The Elin, which a lot of people make fun of, but they're supposedly very experienced in the battle scene. The Karu, which is basically how we saw the first video, and the High Elf, like I said, any other game, which is basically your elf character. For this, I'm going to go with human. select class. And I think I'm gonna go with Warrior. You can go with any other ones you want, but be careful which ones you pick, because there's a star rating. If you pick one that has a very high star rating, it's kind of hard to play. And they basically tell you which your character is meant to do. Whether it's DPS, which is damage per second, and that's the one most people choose because it's easier to do that. Then you have classes like Lancer, where it is very tank based, where you're the person that goes first into the fight and attacks first. You can choose any other races and change which weapon you take on. You can have the Berserker, which has the big battle axe, Lancer, which fights with the big lance, Slayer with a big sword, Warrior with dual swords, or any of the other classes. For this, I'm going with Warrior because that is one of my favorite classes to play as. Next. I think I'm happy with that. So let's choose main. That seems good to me, so let's go through and trade. I kind of like the way he looks, so let's just go ahead on with it. You could go through and customize how he looks, how his hair looks, his eyes, and other little features about him, but I kind of like the way that default look looked on him. So let's click play and go in. You have to bear with me because my mouse does disappear every once in a while because I'm technically playing this on a Mac, but it's meant for Windows. So give me a second if it does disappear. Oh. Okay, so we're on the Isle of Dawn. Basically, you're dropped on this island and expected to use whatever you can find to start your adventure. Here, we see a person with a red exclamation point over their head. This is basically the person where you'll start your adventure with. She'll give you some basic information and things that another person to get geared up.
Greetings.
So we'll accept that, and he'll send us to another guy to give some experience and level up, and then go on to make personally get better gear.
Helping others is a delight.
That's stuff on that one. And see, now we've accepted the quest. So let's go find Lamb, which is right here.
Something important. Be careful out there.
And all these NPCs have some witty response they'll say to you. Some of them will say, something like some of the aliens, if you find any of them around and talk to them, they'll say, does your face always look like that? So now let's click on complete quest, which he's got the quest completion icon, which is the asterisk.
What is it, kid?
What's happening?
Give me a sec.
And now we'll accept our next quest, and we'll get our first piece of gear that we can use. Okay, so now let's go further on and see if we can find the person they're talking about. Oh, before I go any further, the whole thing with the attack like I was talking about, these are your slots where you'll get some attacks you can get. Now, first you'll have any skills. You'll have the combo attack, which is your basic attack that you can do, and then you'll have your attack to get away from the enemy you're at, which right now all I have is the basic roll. Well, here's the person we're supposed to go talk
Feel
to.
the core's power.
And for some odd reason, people are they're doing a head count because at least Elion, one of the main guys that you'll encounter later, has gone missing after going off in some random fight with a couple of monsters on this island. Okay, now let's just say I can do that and you'll go on to the next person.
Elves lead the way.
And before we end this, I'm going to start trying. I'm going to do one of these quests where you have to actually go out and fight. She wants us to fight the Gillendeus, which is basically a tree-like creature, just to gather some samples from them, or to clear out the path. Yeah, collect samples from them as a fight. So we'll set that, and we'll find a Gillendeus and fight it. Now that's it. I'm going to attack that. And see, now that I've attacked him, I can tell usually when his eyes turn, when they start glaring eyes, they're about to attack, or usually when these guys can open their arms wide, they're about to attack me. So let's go on further. Just attack one more, and I'll be done for this section. Let's click on one. That sound down. Let's click on one after him goes down. That is basically it. And then to take out some of the stuff that they drop, just press F. But don't spam people for help. Ask once if you decide to ask in global, which you can't do until you're level 20, because they don't want people spamming it up with, help me do this, help me do that, how do you do this? But they generally it's a good idea just to do every side quest you can do until you get to the places which are dungeons. Like their Bastion of Rogue, which Rogue was an ancient enemy of theirs, which came out, and you would have to go in there and basically destroy any stuff you could find to prevent their people from growing. You know, that had already grown to some extent already, because of one of the guys you'll meet as soon as you get to the first major town, who was amassing for an attack. I think that's it for this section. I'll see you guys in the next one.